Hey there, friends. We've all heard the discussion about karma, what comes around goes around, and all kind of other cute sayings whenever things come back on you.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
The ATF has busted a long-standing gun store in Albuquerque after a man was allegedly making illegal sales and trying to sell a fully automatic rifle. Now, this is according to news reports, and we have to understand that media typically doesn't understand gun talk, so there may be some errors in this. Federal agents went undercover multiple times. They say they bought guns from him at the store 3 times, spending thousands of dollars, and each time he did something illegal. You may recognize the name of this store in Albuquerque, the Shooter's Den. Remember, a young man reached out to me a couple of months ago and said that his Polymer 80 build kit had gotten confiscated from him by a store owner, the Shooter's Den, the same guy that's been arrested here. And the reason behind it, real quick was that this under 21-year-old, he was 20 at the time, built this Polymer 80 kit with no serial number on it, brought it over there looking for a holster. The store owner, trying to save the day and partnering with the ATF apparently, confiscated the gun and said that the kid could not have the gun, which the guy was wrong. The kid could have the gun. The 20-year-old grown man, I shouldn't be calling him a kid, could legally possess that firearm and could build that firearm. However, this store owner decided he was going to try to do the work of the ATF and take the firearm from the young man and keep it on himself and rat the kid out to the ATF, who now, by the way, has the gun, and the young man does not have his gun that he purchased, paid for, and built. The ATF says Anthony Stephen was the one who was breaking the law. In a search warrant filed earlier this month, agents with the ATF say Stephen was breaking licensing and registration rules, selling parts that are illegal when attached. Now, I want you to pay particular attention to this. This is not in retaliation or in response to the gun store owner, Stephen, stealing this gun from this young man. If you'll notice, starting in March, which was well before this young man had his pistol stolen from this store owner, but starting in March, agents say they gave the store a warning, then went back and seized the gun. Then, undercover agents went in 3 separate times and bought guns. In the meantime, all of this stuff transpired with this young man having his pistol stolen also. So a lot of massive red flags popping up about this store owner. Now, allegedly, the things that Stephen was doing wrong was building guns without a manufacturing license, which is really ironic since he confiscated this young man's gun from him, saying he built it illegally and shouldn't have been able to. Not completing background checks, which is a pretty serious crime according to the ATF, not reporting sales, and not charging taxes. All of the guns, accessories, and records were removed / stolen by the ATF from this gun shop. Of course, they're doing this in the name of evidence. We need to steal all his merchandise because we need it for evidence. They need to steal all of his optics, all of his ammo, all of his gunslings, all of the holsters. They need to steal everything in there, all of his Glock 19s with a serial number on it, purchased properly. They need to steal everything in the name of evidence. Now, I'm split on this one, obviously, because the ATF is overstepping. There's some force reset trigger stuff. There's some stabilizing brace stuff. There's several things in here that the ATF is totally overreaching on. And of course, most of what the ATF does is an overreach anyway. The biggest thing that I find in the story is the irony of it. The irony that this guy got caught up in something when he was doing something wrong. This is how I see it. I feel like since the ATF had an eye on him, and this gun owner knew this guy Stephen knew the ATF had been watching him since at least March of this year. So then this young man brings in this gun. I think that Stephen was trying, the gun shop owner, was trying to gain favor with the ATF, knowing full well that he was in their spotlight and that he had done some things wrong. He knew he had probably done some things wrong in their eyes. Again, I'm speaking in terms of the ATF, their own regulations, their own rules as far as doing something wrong. So this gun shop owner knew that in the ATF's eyes, they already were watching him and they were already thinking he was doing something wrong. So I truly believe when this young man walked in, this idiot of a gun shop owner, who clearly already appears to be an idiot, because if he's paying his bills and feeding his family with the money he makes from this gun shop, why was he doing all these things illegal in the ATF's eyes? But nevertheless, This young man walks in there, has a gun. This stupid gun shop owner thinks he's doing the right thing by reporting this kid and stealing his merchandise from him, his weapon. Well, he wasn't. I think he did all of this so he could say, hey, look, ATF, see, don't come down too hard on me. Or maybe I wasn't seriously contemplating doing those things wrong. I wasn't trying to do those things wrong. They were accidents. Because look at me, I'm for you guys. I'm for the ATF. I would have never done anything wrong legitimately or on purpose because, see, look, I'm trying to help you guys out by reporting this guy and stealing his firearm, which probably ticked off the ATF even more because the guy was wrong about all this, and now they had to get involved in another topic that they probably didn't want to be bothered with. And again, right now they have his gun. Now, what are they going to do with all this stuff? Well, they'll keep it for evidence. Then they'll lose a portion of it, like they always do. And then they'll probably destroy some of it. Now, right now what they're doing is they're giving the optics away. They're giving the slings away. If there's any ammo that was stolen, they're giving that away. They're giving all the really cool stuff away, all the really neat stuff, because that's not going to be submitted as evidence. Why? Why do you need to have an ACOG in there as evidence based on some of the things the ATF said is wrong? Again, it's a massive overreach by a federal bureaucracy, and there's no pushback. It doesn't matter what they do. They can do all of this and they get away with it. Again, somebody's going to get some really cool Christmas gifts from this shop this year who were somehow connected to the ATF because the ATF has pilfered through all this guy's stuff. Do I think it's right what the ATF did? No. Do I think it's good karma? Absolutely. Because this man should have never done what he did to this young man and used this young man to try to get him in trouble. Let me remind you that Stephen, the gun shop owner, not only stole this firearm from this young man, not only did he report him to the ATF, but he called his boss at work. The young man's boss at work called him for no reason. You have nothing to gain from that. You don't solve this issue any faster or any more accurately by calling somebody's boss, but he did it anyway because it became vindictive to him. And he felt like what he was doing was falling on the sword of everybody else out there and doing the great thing. I'm this noble gun shop owner and I'm doing all this, but he still felt like it was important that he contact this guy's boss at work. Why was he trying to do that? Because he was trying to get him fired. Sometimes what goes around comes around. And while I don't agree with the ATF's massive overreach in this case, this guy had it coming. And if it had to happen to somebody, I'm glad it happened to him.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
He's